Well, first, let me start by saying we are in fantastic position to begin 2018, primarily due to the efforts of all of our members, all of our committee chairs, and particularly the board. So I have several goals. One of them is artistic. The artistic piece of the season is fantastic. We have a great season, starting with Honeymoon in Vegas, going to Bridges of Madison County, to It Should Have Been You, and then wrapping our season up with The Price. We're also trying a new thing, and that's a Reader's Theater. So the idea of the Reader's Theater is to introduce patrons to shows or directors that we may not normally have done or used. So we're really excited about adding that on at the end of the season. And of course, we'll continue with our long-standing tradition of the children's show. So we are excited about the artistic challenges ahead of us. From a planning perspective, we want to document a formal 5-year capital plan. It takes a lot of money to keep a building this old up to where we want it to be from the standards of being able to put on quality shows. So we are going to document that plan, and we're going to go out and fundraise to attain the funding necessary for that plan. And the last thing that we want to do is establish goals for each and every committee, so we can look back over the course of the year and see how we're progressing and what else should we be doing. From an outside perspective, we are a community of members. So I want to make sure that we're all enjoying our time here and having fun and making sure that we're acting as a community. We are absolutely blessed to own this facility. We don't have a mortgage. We have clear rights to it. We're in fantastic shape in comparison to some of our peers. However, it's 200 plus years old, and it does require a lot of maintenance. So we need to continue to invest in capital improvements, not only from an artistic standpoint, lights and sound and stage, but also from a physical standpoint, safety, and a whole theater perspective. So to that end, that's a few more reasons why we're creating that 5-year capital plan. Well, I think it's really living up to the history of outstanding theater that we've set before us. So another challenge is dealing with our evolving subscriber base. So, and our core members as we age. So the fewer season tickets puts a burden on publicity and the cast and crew to put audience in the seats. Similarly, we need to continue to incorporate millennials into leadership positions at the barn. To do some of that, for the first time in a long time, Publicity actually surveyed people interested in the barn to help understand what they liked about the barn and what we could be doing better. Well, that's an interesting question. So the clearly obvious one is bringing affordable, high-quality productions to the community. One of our charters is educational outreach. So as a result, we offer talkback sessions where the audience can ask questions of the director and his or her crew and the cast members. We also offer the children's show as a way to spread the love of theater. And it's really interesting to hear our stories about members, longtime members, and even newer members about how they first were involved in the barn via the children's theater program. But we'd like to do more, and our education committee is actively exploring ways that we can do that. And we're conscious of being part of a community, and we're doing more and more efforts to be part of the intrinsic fabric of the community, and that's led by our publicity committee. I became involved at the barn along with my wife and children back in 2007. So that may seem like a long time, but in truth, in comparison to some, it's not. I had been involved in many other shows at other theaters. And in talking to, I would call them the people that I respected in other casts, tell me about the flavor of other community theater groups looking for other places that I could participate in. Everyone held the barn in the highest of esteem. So that's why I wanted to be engaged out here. I had an opportunity in 2007 to be on stage with King and I. Was the first show that I was in with my wife and both my children. And then later that season was able to be in Chess, and really this has been my home theater since. Part of that is I was completely blown away by the professionalism displayed by people in all aspects, but the directors, the producers, people costuming, the music directors, every aspect, the stage managers, of putting on a show. Everyone took it to heart as though it was their full-time job, and the quality of the productions show. In talking to other people, one of the regular things that I ask new members, new people who are, new members, is, why did you come to the barn? And they've all said the same thing. I've heard so much about the barn. I'm so excited to be able to participate here in my first show, or it's their second or third show and they've caught the bug just like everyone else. Now, the biggest reason is to share your love of theater. So with others who feel the same way, there's really a sense of family in theater. And this theater is completely open to new people, new members. I can't tell you how many times I go into shows, and whether it's off stage or on stage, and the percentage of people brand new to the barn always astounds me. So don't be afraid to audition, and most importantly, realize that we need your help. Well, I think we've earned a reputation of putting on high quality shows. So to do that, the barn works like any other business. So the Business and Finance Committee works with the director and the producer to establish a budget based on the vision for their shows. In some cases, they may think they're not spending enough money on costumes, and we'll encourage them to rethink that. In other cases, set construction may be too much money. There's other things that we can do we already have you don't need. But once that's agreed upon, the directors and the producers begin to believe that everybody in the barn is behind them, pulling for them, and doing everything to enable them to fulfill their vision. I also have to tell you that we have a core group of folks who really do work tirelessly on all aspects of the technology stack behind a show. So the lighting, and the sound, and set construction, set decoration, costumes. So all the things that go into participating in making a show a truly professional show, we have a great core group of people who will take care of that. And I'd also have to add a shout out to the directors and the producers and all of their talented crew. You can't imagine the amount of time that directors volunteer and give on behalf of a show. So our shows only rehearse, our musicals rehearse for 3 months, 3 days a week. But I can tell you for about 9 months to a year or longer, before that, the director, along with their team, as I said, the music director, the choreographer, and everyone else, has spent countless hours in preparation, all the way up from the audition on to closing night. And finally, I have to acknowledge one other group. The Ascension United Church of Christ has been an invaluable partner for us that gives us access to space so that we can rehearse before the barn season starts, where it's too cold to be in the barn, rehearse when the barn is booked and we need another rehearsal facility. So again, everything combined goes into the answer to that question about why do we have good shows. Drama Tours at the Barn has been around since 1934. So the most important factor to long-term success is really the people that are stewarding the organization. So I will say, you know that I've told you that I've been involved for a decade, and I will tell you I'm a young puppy. So we've been blessed with people like Eileen Chiccarone, who's been active at the barn for 40 years. Steve and Marianne Doneno for over 30 years. Rusty Muglia, who's been active for more than 25 years. And those are just some of the people, and I can name more and more, and I'm remiss to even name a few because I know I'm going to name or miss that many more, that have been involved for so many years stewarding the barn. But I think that's what happens. In a completely volunteer organization, you have kind of people come in and go, And our success is that we've got a great core group who is really, this is their baby, and they're dedicated to making sure that the barn stays as successful as it has been.